Did you know that the man who painted the Mona Lisa also designed flying machines, war machines, and inventions that looked centuries ahead of his time? How could one man be so far ahead of the world? Today, I'm going to tell you the incredible story of Leonardo da Vinci, a man many believe was the greatest genius who ever lived. Leonardo was born on April 15, 1452, in the small town of Vinci, Italy. Nobody knew that this curious little boy would one day become one of the most famous people in history. As a child, Leonardo was different. While other children spent their days playing, Leonardo spent hours observing nature. He watched birds flying across the sky. He studied the movement of water and rivers. He examined plants, animals, and even insects. Everything around him seemed to raise a question in his mind. He wanted to understand not just what things were, but why they worked the way they did. His curiosity became stronger as he grew older. Leonardo loved drawing. But for him, drawing was not just art. It was a way of understanding the world. When he drew a bird, he wanted to know how its wings created lift. When he drew a horse, he wanted to understand how its muscles moved. When he drew people, he wanted to know how the human body worked. Because of his incredible talent, Leonardo became an apprentice in Florence, one of the most important cities in Italy. There he learned painting, engineering, architecture, and many other skills. People quickly realized he was no ordinary artist. Years later, Leonardo created what would become the most famous painting in human history, the Mona Lisa. Even today, more than 500 years later, millions of people travel to see it. Many experts still debate the secrets behind her mysterious smile. But painting was only a small part of Leonardo's genius. His mind was always thinking about the future. One of his greatest dreams was human flight. For years, he carefully studied birds. He filled notebooks with sketches of wings and flying creatures. He believed that if humans could understand the secrets of birds, they could one day fly. Based on these observations, Leonardo designed machines that looked surprisingly similar to modern aircraft. One of his most famous designs resembled a helicopter. Imagine that, a man living in the 1400s, imagining a helicopter hundreds of years before the first real helicopter was built. But Leonardo did not stop there. He designed parachutes. He designed armored vehicles that looked like early tanks. He designed giant crossbows and military machines. He designed bridges and mechanical devices. Some historians believe he imagined more future technologies than any other person of his era. The problem was that the technology of his time was too limited. Many of his inventions could not be built because there were no engines powerful enough to make them work. As a result, many of his ideas remained only on paper. Yet centuries later, engineers looked back at his notebooks and were amazed. Many of the machines Leonardo imagined were eventually built by future generations. Leonardo was also fascinated by the human body. He secretly studied human anatomy and produced detailed drawings of muscles, bones, and organs. His sketches were so accurate that modern doctors still admire them today. At a time when scientific knowledge was limited, Leonardo was already studying the body in ways that resembled modern science. He filled thousands of pages with notes, sketches, ideas, and observations. His notebooks contained inventions, scientific discoveries, artistic techniques, and questions about the universe. Some people even wonder what humanity might have achieved if all of Leonardo's ideas had been developed during his lifetime. Despite his genius, Leonardo never saw many of his inventions become reality. The world simply was not ready for them. On May 2, 1519, Leonardo da Vinci died at the age of 67. But his death did not end his influence. As centuries passed, scientists, engineers, artists, and inventors continued to study his work. They discovered that Leonardo was not only a painter. He was an inventor, an engineer, a scientist, a visionary, a man who seemed to live hundreds of years ahead of his own time. Today, whenever people admire the Mona Lisa, fly an aircraft, or study innovation and creativity, they are seeing the legacy of Leonardo da Vinci.